Okay, welcome back to the Spiritual Recalibration Series. Thank you for embarking on this series and opening yourself to a new way of being. My name is David, and this is session 23, Divine Reverence. Find a comfortable seat in a space where you can allow yourself 20 minutes or so undistracted to focus just on you. A quick reminder, to get the most out of this series, please be sure you've listened to the welcome session, session 0. Here we go. I was reading about, it's actually come up a couple times recently, the four virtues to invite a divine existence. And one of those virtues, these are the virtues of the ancient philosopher Lao Tzu, and one of them is reverence. Well, the first one is reverence. And so reverence is reverence for all living things, for all of life. Doing no harm, wishing no harm to any living being, to any living thing, including yourself. So I thought it was nice either last time or a few times ago, kind of touching on the topic from the mind and the body and the spirit level. And so I thought I'd try that again as I was thinking about reverence. And so starting with the body seems to be the one that's right here at the beginning. So how do you do no harm and wish no harm at the body level? And just thinking about yourself, thinking about your own person at the body level. Depriving the body of what it wants and what it needs and what it's asking for. Depriving it of sleep, of rest, of time to simply be, to not do things, to not be moving, to not be exerting. Like, what's the opposite? I was thinking just this morning, so what's the opposite of doing harm? Or maybe wishing harm? And the word that came up was adore. So what if we adored our body? It seems like when you adore something, you certainly couldn't wish it harm. So I was thinking about what choices we might make, when we adore this body. What we choose to eat, what we choose to drink, when we eat, when we drink. And when we, and just, aesthetically, when there's something about our body that we're thinking about, that we want to change, do we do that from a place do we initiate that change from a place of reverence? Can we do it that way? As opposed to, I need to fix this thing or get rid of this little bit of fat over here or something like that, because it doesn't look the way I want it to look, or doesn't look like something. Or it's wonderful to have goals. We all want our body to look a certain way, and that's okay. But I think it's about, when it comes to reverence, it's about the place from where we do that. And at the mind level, where reverence came up, the word that was, because I was thinking about something else. The topic was almost, for this short meditation here this week, was almost guilt all by itself. The idea of guilt. And maybe we'll still do that. But it seemed like it came right up when we were talking about reverence at the mind level, because we think about doing harm or wishing harm. I mean, guilt. I was listening to something just this week. It's how we punish ourselves. Guilt. I thought that was a really interesting idea. I'm going to get really curious about that. We were all introduced to guilt at a very young age in one way or another. And I was playing with this when for those of you who are parents out there, parental guilt is a real thing. You're just like, you're just not doing enough, or you're just like, you lose your temper, or something happens, the milk just spills, and you were not in a place where you were ready for that milk to spill at that moment. And then 10 minutes later or at night in bed, you're thinking, and then the guilt sets in. So when I heard that, it's how we punish ourselves. It's like guilt is a self-punishment. Well, that doesn't feel like reverence. So getting curious about guilt, how we can have reverence at that level, letting go. And then at the spirit level, and we think of this, when we think of spirit, we brought this up last time. However, whatever that word means to you, that third leg of the stool, that other aspect beyond the body and the mind, even for you, if what's feels most relevant for you is simply your own highest potential, then at the spirit level, we talked. It was a while ago, I think, we were talking about the idea of oneness. And the example that came up is if I'm over here and I'm me, and you're over there and you're you, then clearly you're you and I'm me, right? So that's different. We're different. You're over there and I'm here. But so with the idea of oneness, what is it that's the same? And the idea that came up in the example was peace. Well, if you're cultivating your peace, and I'm cultivating my peace, my inner peace, and your inner peace, the peace is the same. So if you cultivate yours, and then it's going to be more, it's going to be there. It's kind of like the idea of world peace. What if everyone gave themselves this kind of time? Every person on the planet just spent quiet time, focus on cultivating inner peace for 5 minutes a day. What would the world look like? I've heard that before. But so the thing that's the same is the peace, the happiness. So when it comes to reverence, I was just thinking about life and in all of life. So if it's peace or happiness or reverence or life, there's something to all living beings that's the same. And you start to, so it seems like that's at the human level. It's all living beings. That's plants and animals too. There's life there. So when you start thinking about that thing that's the same, this life that is the same, it starts to become really hard to wish harm. Like I was listening to, I read somewhere, and I forget where it was. I wish I could say where I quoted, where the quote is from, or maybe it's not even a quote, but it was like you're reading a book and you're outside and a little bug starts crawling across the book. Well, let it be, because the world needs more readers. Yeah. So you even start to think about little things like insects differently and plants and such. Okay. So anything else on reverence? And I think, yeah, let's just do a short little visualization about this, short little meditation on this. So if you're sitting in a chair, make sure your feet are flat on the floor. So I can help you with a nice upright spine. If you're in a chair, it's always good. Sometimes it's good to have a little something something in your low back to help you support you in a nice upright spot. If you don't have one of those, maybe sometimes you can even just scoot a little forward to the front edge of the chair and see how your posture does on its own. But sitting upright really helps uplift your energy. And close down the eyelids gently if that's comfortable for you. Make sure the eyes are soft behind the eyelids. And I'd invite you to relax your jaw. Just allow the breath to flow naturally. Allow your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. And behind your closed eyes, allow yourself to be in the most beautiful setting that you can imagine outdoors, whether that's by the ocean or in the mountains, by a stream, or in a meadow, or by a lake or a pond. Place yourself there in the most beautiful setting for you. And see the sky, the most beautiful sky you can imagine. Whether it's sunrise or sunset, you choose. With all of the colors of the sky. And no matter where you are, surround yourself with flowers. Flowers of all different colors, so that you can smell the fragrance of the flowers, the most beautiful fragrance you can imagine. Allow yourself to feel the breeze, the wind, on the most pleasant temperature you can imagine, with the most beautiful breeze. Allow yourself there, here, in this most beautiful, colorful setting. Good. See if you can tune in to the beauty itself of all of this that surrounds you. And let the scene go, but hold on to the beauty. You can turn that beauty inward toward yourself. This inner beauty. Can you allow that beauty to extend beyond yourself to all of life, to all living things, in pure reverence for all living things? Allow yourself to be here for just a few more moments. Now take a normal breath in and out. Prepare to come back to the space where you are. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes or stay like this for as long as you like.